I got a few cards I want to show you this evening. Pretty awesome. One in particular I am super pumped about. Also, I need your help trying to figure out what something means on one of my graded cards. Check it out. Hey guys, hope y'all are having a good day. A little late getting a video out today. It's been traveling out of state for several hours and then traveling back several hours, and just got home a little while ago. Spent an evening out with my wife, so we had a good time, had dinner, came home, and now it's card time. So I stopped by a shop that I've been talking to a guy there several times when I passed through in West Virginia, and he always seems to have some pretty decent cards in the single section. So I was going to come in and show you guys kind of what I found, and but there's one that I'm extremely excited about. It's the only one I've ever held myself. It's already graded, and I also want to show you guys, based on the previous videos, that I'm putting my money where my mouth is, where I think that the future is for investing in certain grades of cards. I think the PSA 8s and 9s I've mentioned, they'll go up. But for me, it also just, I love the cards. I'm buying ones that I enjoy, not just ones I think will be worth money, but ones to go in my collection. So I'll go ahead and show you what I've got. This is the raw card that I picked up. You guys recognize this one? It's a 75 Johnny Bench. It's in pretty good condition. I'll have to go back and look at some of the other ones. The hole that's in the reds and the D. Not sure how that affects it overall, but I don't care. I'm a Johnny Bench collector, so and believe it or not, I don't have a copy of this one, so that's my first 75 Bench. I've got some more rare ones of Bench, but for some reason I've never had the 75. So the back, looked pretty good. It's a little bit off center, top to bottom, a few spots on top, but for a raw card, I was pretty pleased. So 3 that I got that I'm very happy with, but most people would look at it and think I'm probably crazy for picking these up, but I got them at a very good price for obvious reasons. The first one is Reggie Jackson. This is out of the 1987 Topps. This is my favorite set. It's the year I was born, so it means a little more to me. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I've got a screen over here that I can see. So it's a PSA 8, which means I got this card for $6. And I'm not sure. I can't find on the card why it would have possibly gotten a PSA 8 besides population control. And there may be a little tiny dent. It's kind of hard to see, but overall, quality is very good. Like I said, it's one of my favorite sets, so I picked that one up. Next one, same set, 1987. Dwight Gooden. This is a PSA 9. Very, very good looking card. And what I'm trying to do is reduce, I'm taking some advice from, I keep mentioning his name. That means I'm watching too much of his content. Mike with Baseball Collector and Chasing Cardboard. He and a gentleman that's a friend of his, a professor, were doing a video on making a list. And it kind of seemed like they thought they might be rambling on, but things like that help new collectors and new to vintage like myself. I tend to have a collecting tendency of I get what I like. And that's been great for a long time, but there's only so much you can get that you like. And a lot of that, what's keeping me from getting things that I want to collect, certain sets. This is my era. I love older vintage, but this is, it's the year I was born. It's what I collect. It's what I liked. So I'd love to have the 87 set and then eventually get the 87 Tiffany. But these are just cool cards. I mean, it's like I said, it's PSA 9, not worth much, but pretty awesome card to me. So I picked that one up. And the last one in that set that I picked up was a Nolan Ryan, PSA 9 as well. Pretty good looking card. This one, I can't for the life of me figure out why it didn't get a 10. But it worked out in my favor because it got a 9, and it's still a very, very nice card. Back's very well centered as well. Condition is great. Corners are great. Edges are great. I don't see any surface issues. And the gentleman, he's a dealer. He's the one that submitted these himself, and he obviously looked at it as well. So you never know. Depends on what mood PSA is in that day. What this means for me, the reason I brought up that video was because it allows me now. I'm going to start to make a list of cards that I'm going after and sets that I'm going after. Try to redirect my spending more wisely, so falls within our budget for me. And then also, it kind of gives me a target when I go into a store. I know what I'm looking for, rather than just being excited that I see anything. Which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you're a collector, my wife we had a 2-hour drive home from the shop, and she was making fun of me that I was walking around like a kid, like a little school kid, in the card shop, and that's not my personality, right? I'm a really sarcastic, kind of glass half empty, I'm a passionate glass half empty, but she was giving me a hard time that when I go into a card shop, it's a different game. Okay, so I'm going to show you this one, and this one I'm actually looking for some input, because as much as I've learned over the last several years, this is actually the first time that I've ever had one of these. I didn't give too much for it. I knew it had the MC, which means it's a miscut. See if I can get it in focus. So Pete Rose 300, it's 5 miscut. And what really helped me out is if you guys could explain to me. I Googled a little bit to figure out what they're trying to say with the miscuts. I know SGC just tells you authentic miscut. PSA still puts a numbered grade on there. I'm wondering, it almost sounds like the grade is miscut, but it would have gotten a 5. And you guys can see on the back here that got a miscut. So I might have overpaid for that one, but it's the first time I've seen it. It piqued my curiosity, and it was one of those things where I'm working out a deal trying to get certain cards for the budget my wife set for me while I walked in, and this one kind of helped get me to where I wanted to be. So I don't know. I may have messed up on that one, but it's the first time I've seen one. I collect Pete Rose anyway, and either way, I like it. But yeah, so not sure on that one. But if you guys could take me to school on the whole miscut thing, I'd really like to know. Okay, so this one is actually pretty special to me. When I opened it up, or when I saw it in the box, he had just put a box on the counter from the back, and it just had random stuff in it. And it is the first one that I've ever held. First one that I've actually gotten to lay eyes on in person. And I hear about you guys collecting them all the time on the shows and on your channels. But I've never actually held one. And I was fortunate enough that I found one. And to me, I got a great deal, because I really don't know if it would have mattered what it cost, just because I've never came across one. And I'm sure at larger shows and stuff there are, but I haven't made it out to those. So this is a 1940 playball. It's my first playball card. Like I said, I was pumped. Schoolboy Hoyt, he's Hall of Famer, and I was excited. This is not only the oldest card that I own now, but the coolest card, and it cost me $20. I don't even know what it's worth. I really didn't care. I just needed it, and it's in a 1. Looking at it, I'm surprised it didn't just get an authentic. I mean, the back's not in terrible shape. It looked pretty good. The corners obviously weren't the greatest, but I mean, and now obviously, because Well, you guys understand. Now I just have to have all of them, right? I think the DiMaggio in this set is pretty expensive. I'll probably never get all of them. The Hall of Fame run especially it'd be rough. So, but anyway, I was very excited. This card, I would rather have this at $20 than I would the greatest one of one ever in the newest sets. This to me is far cooler. I mean, how often do you run across these things? Unless you do this for a living and this is something that you pursue all the time. It's just not something you see where I'm from, And if somebody has one, they're gone so fast. You almost have to wait for somebody to pass away and they happen to have one. I'm sure at the Nationals and those of you that travel to all these big shows and stuff that you see them all the time. But for me, I was, my wife could see it in my face. As soon as I saw it, I'm buying this. I've got to have it. And it was stickered at $40, and I got it for $20. So to me, well worth $20. Well worth. So I was excited. I'll show you guys one more time. So I don't know how difficult these are to collect. I'm sure if I started digging into it pretty hard, I might be able to find some. But man, I was excited. So, but anyway, that's what I picked up here recently. Just wanted to share it with you guys. Just done talking about investing, for once, or other topics people suggested, and just look at some cards. So, I'm tired. My skin's falling apart. Sun's killing me, flaking off everywhere. I'm ready to call it a day. So appreciate you guys so far watching the channel and all the support and comments so far. I know YouTube's a little slower than other platforms trying to get some momentum going. So trying to be patient and appreciating those of you who have stepped in so far and subscribed and all that kind of stuff. So I'll try to keep some more coming as I get time, and we'll see you on the next one. See you guys.